Excel Champs Mastering Pivot Tables in Excel. I am your coach Vinai Prakash. Although pivot tables provide an extremely fast way to summarize the data, sometimes the pivot table defaults are not exactly what you need. However, we can tweak the information in our pivot tables pretty easily. Things like making a format change to making the underline calculations. So in this video, we will look at 4 ways to customize a pivot table, how to change a field name, how to change the number format, how to replace blanks with zeros, and how to change summary calculations. Let's get started. For this exercise, we will use the file workingwithpivottables.xlsx. This is how the file looks like. The base data we have is employees, their gender, their position, the division, and their salary. Let's make a simple pivot table. We can click anywhere in the data, go to Insert, Pivot Table, OK. Now let's say I put the gender, position, and the salary. Let me move the position here. So what we have is a pretty basic pivot table, and some of the things you notice, it says sum of salary, column labels, row labels, and this is not something that we want to show to our customers. We want to provide proper names and labels. How to change it? Let's say instead of salary, instead of salary. So what you can do is you can just click here and at the top bar type salary. Press enter. You will get an error. Why? Because the word salary already exists, and if we try to name another column or another label as salary, it will conflict with the internal Excel naming convention. So we can't do this. But what you can simply do is put a blank space at the end. So salary and a blank space. If you press enter, that's it. The field is now renamed and your users won't even notice it. So this way, we can easily change the names. For row labels, it wouldn't matter. I could call it gender, and even if it is exactly matching with the gender here, it does not matter. Similarly, here I can type the word designation, press enter, and it works fine. So as you can see, the pivot table looks much neater and cleaner. There is another way to change the field name, and what you can do is at salary, right click, go to value field settings, and you will see the name custom name. Source name is salary, custom name is salary with a blank. Alright, so I have seen that you could put a blank space in the beginning also instead of at the end, but the only drawback is that now you see a small blank space here. So my preference is to have a blank space at the end. That way nobody notices it and it looks neat and clean, as well as it doesn't break any Excel pivot table naming rules. So I hope you find it useful. Next, let us look at how to change the number format. In a pivot table, a numeric field can be formatted in currency, percentage, or any other number format that you want. You can easily change the formatting of the numeric fields using the value field settings dialog box. All you need to do is click on any number that you want to change, right click, and go to value field settings. You will get a pop-up. This is the place where we change the custom name by putting a blank at the end. And if you notice, at the bottom is this button number format. So we are going to click on this number format and there will be another pop-up. What we can do is we can simply click number. Now if you don't want the decimals, we can say I don't want decimals. You can remove the decimals. And if let's say you want a comma separator, so you can put a comma separator and click OK. Now if you notice, There's no change. We are back to the previous screen. We need to click OK one more time. The good thing here is that we only clicked on a single cell and changed its format, but all the numbers which were coming for salary all have had their formats changed. So you need to change it once for a single cell and it will change for the entire column where we are. So we were changing salary here. Let's see one more time. We will change the format to a currency format. So we go to value field settings, number format, and this time I'll choose currency. That's the only change I'm going to do. Click OK and come out. So what you notice is all of them are now formatted as a currency with the dollar sign showing for each number. That's it. It's so simple. Next, let us look at how to replace blanks with zeros. So I'm going to make a minor change to our pivot table. I have a pivot table where the salary is being shown by gender, by name, and by the division. So as you can see, there are some blank cells showing up, and that's because there's no value here. We can easily change this and replace all the blanks with zeros. How do you do that? Well, you go to pivot table options menu. Right click anywhere and go to pivot table options. Click on it and you will get a new pop-up. If you see here, it says for empty cells show, and then it shows a blank. What we can do is we can put a 0 here and click OK. That's all. All the blanks have now been replaced by zeros. So this is a simple method. You could do a different method as well. For example, we right click, go to pivot table options, and for empty cells, if I type the word NA, not applicable, now I click OK, and you notice all the blanks have the word changed to NA, not applicable, or nil, or blank, or 0. It's up to you. You can change it to whatever numeric number or text that you want to replace blanks with. That's it. And now we will look at how to change summary calculations in a pivot table. When we create a pivot table report, by default, Excel summarizes your data by either counting or summing up the items. Instead of sum or count, you might want to choose other functions such as minimum, maximum, count numeric, or any other option like average. This is pretty easy to do. All you need to do is click on the cell, the numbers, right click, and then say value field settings. The value field settings dialog box appears and we can click on average. So now we will get an average. If you notice, the word salary has now automatically been replaced by the word average. You could change it if you wanted it to. Let's do it one more time. We'll go to value field settings, and this time you could choose maximum. And now the numbers have changed. We are looking at the maximum values. So it is pretty simple to customize your pivot table. In this video lesson, we have seen how to change a field name, how to apply a number format, how to replace blanks with zeros, and how to do simple summary calculation changes. So what you should do now is to open the file working with pivot tables and try out all these 4 things that we have done. That's it for this lesson. All the best.